Let's start with Chomp Sports. He sent this to me on Twitter, and I like this one. I have to look ahead a bit. Have to look ahead a bit in a glass half full way. How does the outlook for the program change if the Gators can secure a college football playoff berth? How does the outlook for the program change if the Gators can secure a college football playoff berth? Yes, you heard the question right from Chomp Sports. But that's what we're doing here. Unlikely as it might be, I think that's why he's asking the question. How does the outlook change? This tough schedule. All the losses that have mounted up so far. There's a lot of growth that needs to happen with this team. On the sidelines, on the field. So with this schedule, you would think it would change significantly for most people and most fans. Now, we can get in trouble with it being only one season. We've had this conversation on Gators Breakdown Plus, believe me. But you can get in trouble with it only being one season. You don't want to put too much stock into one season, but it would at least show it can be done, which is all many want to see under Billy Napier right now. Fans, recruits want to see it. I don't know if it would save Florida's 2025 recruiting class, but it would certainly help improve it for its current state. Combine that season with an already strong start for the 2026 class. If you go on to this 2024 season and you got a really good start to that 2026 class, you could certainly ride that wave where the 2026 class would get even better. So to me, that's where the ultimate outlook would come from, is a good start for the next recruiting class, because that's usually when a good season pays off. Not the recruiting class that is about to be signed, but that next recruiting class. It would pay dividends in that. So it changed the outlook a little bit, I think, from where this program is headed recruiting-wise to be even better. It would relieve a lot of built-up pressure in this program. It'd get people believing again in where this thing is headed. Not everybody would be on board after one season. I completely realize that. I know that. I don't know if I'd fully jump on board, but it would certainly speak to, hey, it can be done. And there is some hope. I think a lot of fan base just wants hope right now. So achieve that in 2024. And then you got DJ Lagway waiting in the wings. And the outlook would be really positive. It's like, you did this with a 6-year quarterback who probably isn't the greatest fit for your system, but Graham Mertz, Billy Napier did some good things last year in this offense. Adapted the offense. It should take some steps this year. But especially in this scenario, it will take steps this year because Florida's going to be a college football playoff team. That means this offense went in all those things I just mentioned before this segment, went and did those things and improved in a whole lot of ways. And now you got a quarterback in DJ Lagway. We all know the accolades. Would fit more in what Billy Napier wants to do. You would assume with all the weapons returning on offense, the outlook would be really positive. There'd be an incredible turnaround on defense if you make the college football playoff. Many contributors on that side of the ball returning on that side as well. And you'd expect TJ Searcy, Kelby Collins, LJ McCray, Jamari Lyons, Pup Howard, Graham and Childs at linebacker, Devin Moore, Jordan Castell, Denson, Thornton, Gates. You'd all expect them to be contributors in a 2024 college football playoff run, and they return the next season. Maybe not Devin Moore if he has a great year, but you get my point. It would build a better belief on what is happening on the defensive side of the ball as well. And you get so many of those faces returning. So putting all this together, the outlook would be really positive, I think, for most people out there. Because so many players would be returning, and maybe this thing had just gotten figured out. Extending it a little bit, now, if we look at it from a different angle, it might mean a little less overall since the college football playoff expands to 12 teams. But given Florida's schedule that a lot of people want to point at, it would mean a whole lot, even with an expanded college football playoff. It doesn't necessarily mean Florida's a top 4 team, but could sneak in with, say, a 9-3 schedule. I know there's talking of an 8-4. I think it would take complete chaos for an 8-4 Florida team to make it into a college football playoff. But let's just go 9-3 because that would be the most likely scenario. If Florida made the college football playoff, 9-3 or better would have to be the record. Now, the outlook would be even more positive if those 3 losses are close games against great teams. And in 2025, if we're looking at the outlook, those same teams are on the schedule for the most part, except UCF. I think the 2025 schedule eases up a little bit. So many teams replacing quarterbacks. Now your home away designation changes. But I think if you do this in 2024 and you look at the 2025 schedule with everybody returning, DJ Lagway at quarterback, I think the outlook would be even more positive. Now, if you want to go glass half empty and look at this, to me, it would be really hard to look that way, but it would be out there. I do caution that everything would be fine overall. I don't think recruiting is quite there to compete with the elites. Doing it this year would require excellent coaching, which would need to be replicated the following year. It won't matter much overall, but if all these wins in 2024 are close and Florida makes the college football playoff, that trend could reverse in 2025. And I think 2012, for us Gator fans, is a good example of that. A one-loss regular season from Will Muschamp, and then in 2013, you returned Jeff Driscoll at quarterback and a Will Muschamp defense. You couldn't ever recapture what happened in 2012. And I know injuries played a large part in that, but we know enough about Will Muschamp now that that was never going to be replicated. Doesn't matter what the rest of his tenure at Florida, what we saw at South Carolina. 2012 was an outlier. That was never going to happen again. So it's not a given that if you somewhat play over your head one year, that means the overall outlook is going to happen. Because you're going to get all the positive feels. You're going to get all the positive vibes. We had it a whole lot going from 2012 to 2013. Still had a whole lot of talent on this roster left over from Urban Meyer and what Will Muschamp had put together early on. You had a quarterback returning in 2013. Now, you lost to Miami going into that early in that season. So it wouldn't be a given. But yes, to me, the outlook could and should be great if Florida makes the college football playoff this season. Join Gators Breakdown Plus. Keep the conversation going on Discord, all the chats we have there, so extra episodes that will be available in the fall that you can't find anywhere else. Right there, Gators Breakdown Plus. And also, hey, about a month until kickoff. Get your Beat Miami shirt, GatorsBreakdownMerch.com. New designs up there as well to get, to support us right here in what we're doing on Gators Breakdown. But of course, I want to show that support for beating those Miami Hurricanes.